good dude, but doesn't really have. He got a lot of anger. Dudes like this be actually a little bit angry because they face a lot of frustration, and also when you're the gentleman archetype like this, like you wind up kind of being, how can I say, less respected, and you're more unaware of how to deal with people. Like for example, the woman that he's describing is a bitch. The woman he's describing is a savage. The woman he's describing is someone who will leave this nigga high and dry. Someone that if she could rob this nigga, she would. I'm just saying, like this. When you start hearing him describe her, and you think about what kind of girl would say this to you, you know that this bitch is cold, bro. Like no joke. Yo, I love these hats that Anton got. Like, yeah, like that. I aspire to have the kind of merch that y'all niggas see me wear and say, I really fuck with that. I really would like to have one. But anyway, so going back to the dude, right? So it's a few different things that he's not getting and that he didn't come to the situation understanding. First and foremost, when you deal with women, you gotta understand that don't be getting caught up in trying to perform being perfect for them. You need to just have your foundation together. What's your idea of right from wrong? That's what I always say on a regular basis. We have to keep refining our idea of right from wrong. Also understanding, listen, you gotta understand like what seduction is, and you will do best with women that you can actually seduce. Like women who have an attraction for you. Look, let's say you ain't got the bread. Women who have an attraction for you, those are the women that you can seduce. You have to be working on seduction from the beginning, and also understanding what kind of conversations are turn offs, understanding how to be fun. All right, breaking the touch barrier and shit. You know what I mean? And because me personally, I'm trying to establish attraction right away. If you acting standoffish, you acting weird. Listen, it's no need to waste time. I'm too old for that. All right, I'm not 40, but listen, I'm almost big 40. So I said to say that this is the kind of nigga that don't realize, you don't understand these women, or you couldn't put her in the right category because for one, you don't realize that you may think and be handling and processing things like a woman. You know what I'm saying, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to address the bitch in you, one way or the other. Whether it's just you being a bitch, as in you being a cunt, or you being a coward, right? Or in some instances, you are thinking like a woman, hence thinking like a bitch. No offense, no offense. I'm just doing content. Don't mind me. I'm just doing content. Don't stress about it. Okay, it's fine. All right. So I'm gonna tell a story in a second, but I want to kind of give it that background. Um, Also, and Anton's gonna touch on this too when he talks about how, because at some point she talks about showing him a video that she saw on social media, and the video, again, most social media content is a form of like pornography because it's supposed to be performative, it's supposed to be exaggerated, it's supposed to be a little outside of the norm of what you would experience in real life and what's realistic. Like prawn or pornography cannot really be but so lit if it's too realistic. I like amateur prawn personally, but I can understand why some people maybe don't like it. Or me personally, like I want to see certain things, and that's what's going to give me stimulation. So like it's the same thing with content. So the video that she was showing him was basically a video that basically said, "Hey, listen, um, a man that really likes you." It's always based off of if he wanted to, he would, and if he, it's never about, okay, this kind of guy can do this if he wants to. It's like, no, in general, if he want, basically, if he wanted to give, it's always about money too. If he wanted to give you this money or spend this money, then he would do it. And he would find a way. And what that does is feed the, how can I say, your desire to like not care about the how, because women don't really care about how. Not really. That's how you can get women to buy all kinds of cars and credit cards and all types of commitments, because women won't think about, how am I going to pay this? Really think about that. Really think about, or even in the example we brought up earlier with the little boy, the mother who's entrusted with caring for this child is not thinking about, how will this impact them in the future? How will this impact their development? How am I supporting them properly? Anyway, so he's gonna go through how he met this girl, his experience, and I'm gonna try my best to not stop the video too much. All right, so let's go.
On we hit it off. She's attractive, and the conversation was good. We talked about a lot of different things. I felt that we had a few things in common, um, and I was like excited, to meet her. So yeah, so we met up, and that was our first meetup. I wouldn't even really call it a date, but I was just like, wow, I just loved her energy. She's very ambitious, like I said, pretty and all that stuff. But yeah, weeks go by. We're getting to know each other. I'm taking her out to different places, different environments, things like that. I got her some flowers, and everything's seeming to go good. Now, when I probably reached like the seventh date mark, I was kind of like scratching my head a little bit too because she mentioned a couple things, right? She mentioned one thing about like grand gestures and stuff like that. Most people that know me, like I'm a very simple guy. Like I like romance and stuff like that, but she just kept making emphasis on like grand gestures and stuff like that. So she's a grand person, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm still learning her, right? So uh, didn't really think nothing of it at the time. And then she also mentioned, because we're getting to know each other. She's like, yeah, I don't really, because I think we talked about like just we got on the subject of cooking and cleaning, and she was like, yeah, I would outsource, like cooking and cleaning. So she says that, and I'm not really tripping too hard on it because I'm not one of those.
Nigga, you should trip hard on it. Nigga, she don't do but so many things. See, this is the kind of nigga right here who want his girl to be his best friend. And I understand why. And again, he seems like he's a young guy. Doesn't really seem to be that old, right? But I'm gonna guess that he's near 30, and this is what's going on with that young lady. Matter of fact, we're gonna pull up this clip with India Love, right, where she talks about wanting a family and everything, right? And CGA always talks about this different timeline that women are on and that men are not aware of. So India Love has been she turns 30 next year according to this post right here, right? So India Love has been outside for a long time. She's been with a lot of, matter of fact, hold on. Please name all the celebrities that India Love has been with publicly. Soldier Boy, Lil Yachty, Rich the Kid, Sheck West, Drake. Let's see. Roddy Rich. Nah, nigga, dive deeper. Nigga, tell me more. The Game. Who else we got? Ron Robinson, Justin Combs, Jayon Love, Cliff Dixon. Damn, Rick Ross. I said Lil Yachty, Rich the Kid, John Smith, a football player, Dwayne Bacon, Devin Haney, professional boxing champion. You understand? So I mean, so I came to know her. This is back like 2017. Now, mind you, it's not like she's a really old person. Like this person is only 29 years old. So she became famous around like 2017. So that's like about 8 years or so. And within 8 years, those just the guys you know publicly. So if you don't understand the monetized dating market, right? Shout out to CGA. That you don't understand what's going on right here. So she's about to get into where she's at in life right now, right? So this is what's going on with old girl from the video. Check it out.
2026 is to be aligned with God's will for my life, and I've done a lot of doing what I wanted to do in my 20s, and in 2026 I will be out of my 20s and in the first chapter of my 30s. And with that being said, I want to be aligned with what God has for me and what God wants me to do with my life and my career and my platform.
You heard that? What God has for me. Basically, what she's saying, listen, I want daddy to handle it. I want a man to fix it. She know that, yo, you are running out of time. You have aged out the game. Now, luckily, she's a really attractive girl, but the thing is, yo, reputation is shot. And we're in a different era. Before, a woman like this could transition perfectly from being in the 304 type headspace to get married. Don't get me wrong, CGA always talks about how these girls do get married and they do want to get married, right? But the thing is, we're in a different phase. 2022 to 27 is still the best time for women to get married because that's when you were still fertile, my nigga. And another thing about like, this how can I say this desire to kind of extend your childhood and avoid responsibility, fam. Like you don't need to do that, but for so long. Like 25 is a good age to start getting serious. I tell my sister, yo, around like 22, all right, you need to start getting serious about that shit because you're about to start aging out. Your body's gonna start changing. You're not going to be in your prime. This is the most men are ever going to want to talk to you, right? And on top of that, again, like your body's like a car. The longer you're out here, the more miles go on the car. All right. At the very least, is the body of the car is getting older, right? So it doesn't matter how good the car is. A 99 a 99 Benz S class is 99 Benz S class. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit's still gonna look old, even if you didn't drive it. You know what I'm saying? But on top of that, it's miles on it. It's gonna be mad miles on it. And the truth is that you did drive it, right? If we gotta think about how valuable is that car, how good is that car, right? So the older woman gets and everything, like it's like that, kind of like an older car. Like there's still wear and tear and miles on this car because we're in the future. Time has passed by. That's a normal thing. So, but the car doesn't get better as time goes on. It just doesn't. And men gotta understand that. You gotta respect that. So, what she's trying to do is transition out of this shit because she understands. I'm at the end of the game. So the young man that's talking, right? He's saying a lot. Hold on, real quick before we go. Somebody writes, Soheem Perry's writes, so this is what Kevin Samuels was talking about. These women want to be outside, quote unquote, and waste all their 20s away playing around with men, and when they turn 30 full of emotional baggage, they want to settle down. But listen, this is where we at. And one of the reasons why girls do that is because of sabotage from other women. Women go into sabotage mode. Older women are always sabotaging young women into thinking that, yo, you have your whole 20s to be a hoe, or you got your whole 20s to play, whatever it is. If you're not in a committed relationship, what else are you doing unless you keep, again, these women, if they are attractive, they're not keeping their vagina to themselves. They're not somewhere reading the Bible. Like, no, you're going to meet people. You're going to meet people you like and whatnot, and you may have a situationship, and if you're not careful about it, a woman can fuck around and have 2 or 3 sexual partners a year effortlessly. Especially if she's attractive. I mean, up until about 40 years old, and even past that, she can always meet a guy, especially on a dating app or Tinder, wherever, that she thinks is attractive and hook up with him. And like, simple as that. And that shit can add up. You got to realize that, men don't be realizing how much more of an advantage women have when it comes to having sexual experiences and sexual experience. Now, it doesn't make them good at sex, but they will rack up sexual experiences. You know what I mean? And they're able to do so way more than men, right? So anywho, so I brought this up because that's where that girl is at in her life. She feel like, all right, boom, I've aged out. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time for me to find the kind of man that I can control. You know what I mean? So from the beginning, she's doing a few different things. I always tell you that women are always doing business, right? And they're always negotiating. Like CJ always says, men are in love, women are in business. So she's always looking at it as, I'm creating a stronger base, stronger foundation for future negotiations, right? Or I'm setting a certain standard to get you into thinking like, all right, this is what's going to be an expectation. So that's what they'll do. So we can kind of maybe put that all under the umbrella of training, right? And even in real life, even in random conversations and whatnot, whenever a woman tries to train me, or because what women will do from time to time is like basically say, like how can I say, what's a good one? Homegirl of mine said, yeah, I was watching your channel, some things you see on there, are misogynistic and, or a little misogynistic. And I looked at her like, the word misogyny only works if you have respect, innate respect for men in the way where they feel respected. Being as though we know that's not the case, that concept is null and void. Why should I have all this reverence and consideration for someone who does not have the same reference and consideration for me? That would make me an idiot. That would make me that make me a coward, honestly. Because that's the same as if I know a dude who's not nice to me at all, but I'm always trying to be nice to him, if you saw that, you would think, all right, I wouldn't look very masculine or very manly if I did that. So if that's the case, I'm like, yo, for the most part, most women are hostile towards men. So if I know that, what am I concerning myself with trying to? I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that when she said that I didn't correct myself, I didn't try to soften anything, and I stood on business and everything. Yo, she gotta respect that. And also, she getting stimulated. Men don't even be realizing that, yo, you have to respond to women's test and shit test aggressively. All right, and because for the most part, first and foremost, when she said to him she likes grand gestures, he should have challenged that, or and again, yeah, he should have given her a clear challenge and made her expound on that and let her know what it's going to be. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong. If you're in a situation where you have an arrangement, then that's a little bit different. But what she was trying to do, like I said before, trying to train him, I mean, to be obedient, train him to. Again, this is a 304's fancy. A 304's fancy is always being able to get the most resources and energy and time and attention out of a man without giving him too much sex. Because again, 304 has to protect their that's their asset right there, right? So if they always fucking, or if they always get taken to Pound Town, they have a sore vagina. They got to keep that thing fresh. Gotta save it. Too many miles, you know what I mean? So if she can manage to get dates and attention and time and whatnot, first of all, she's already training you know what I'm saying, to not be wearing her pussy out, you know what I'm saying? And she gets to still have a good time. Don't get me wrong, me personally, I've never experienced this. Anyone that I've ever been fucking want to always have sex with me. You know what I'm saying? I never experienced like it being a problem or I need to do something. Only time I ever experienced anything close to that was with the craziest women I've ever known. And these were women who had to take antidepressants. Now, if anyone knows about antidepressants keeps women from getting orgasms. So it's very, very weird dynamic, right? And it makes them more. It makes them kind of asexual. It makes them like aggressive and up and down towards you, right? And anywho, that's why it's important to know their background. But anywho, so that girl is trying to transition, I'm saying, into being a kept woman. And also you got to realize that, again, women, depending on their experiences, whatever positive things they experience, they'll want to try to experience it again. And so, again, women don't care about the how. So in their mind, they'll feel like, all right, well, I had a man I was seeing that would give me $400 every time I saw him. Now, she may know that you can't give up $400, but what she does know is that, all right, well, you make a good amount of money, and I should be able to get something out of you. You know what I mean? But I got to make sure that I'm starting things off right to maintain a certain, like, power dynamic. But again, he would have done better to stop seeing her from the beginning. Because this is the kind of girl who was probably selling some pussy. Whenever women talk like that, that means that they're open to sex work. When women talk about basically, yo, you gotta spend this amount of money, that means they're into sex work. Now, unfortunately, sex workers or people who think like sex workers are heavy on social media in terms of making level up content and shit like that. Those same women are becoming famous on social media and they're spreading those ideologies and making them more normalized. And now men have that to contend with. So it's kind of like a chicken or the egg thing. Like, we're not really sure where it's coming from. Or is it that this is who women really are? Or is it that because women are consuming this kind of content that they're thinking this way? Because I'm gonna show you the part of the clip where she talks about this video too.
Guys, it's like expecting my woman, oh yeah, you gotta cook and clean and just do like all this domestic stuff at the house, because I'm very much a domestic type of person. Like, I cook, clean, and do stuff.
That nigga said he a domestic type of person. My bad. I'm gonna touch on this too. Sir, you do need to be on that shit. One of the worst feelings is being around a woman who thinks that you supposed to treat her like a man. Because it always kind of comes down to you treat her like a woman according to what women like, and vice versa. Okay? Like, that's not a healthy relationship if you're doing most of the cooking. It's not a healthy relationship if y'all live together and you're doing most of the cleaning. You have to have confidence in her, because for the most part, she puts full confidence in you to go make that money. She's never worried about, are you going to keep making the same amount of money and do you need help making your money? She's never worried about that. For the most part, she's thinking, you'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like she never thinks about, damn, like what if he loses his job? Her plan for if you lose your job is just to leave you, not help you get another one. You understand? And this guy right here hasn't outgrown that. He hasn't outgrown, and you know that he keeps mentioning she was very attractive. So what that also meant was that the girl was too attractive for him, and he wasn't used to girls that pretty. That happens to the best of us. It's just different levels to it, bro. Like being around like niggas who ain't got shit. Like I started kind of seeing, oh wow, you know what? Y'all have a way lower bar. Like even for like what you think a cute big girl is, right? Like I remember like having conversations with niggas about like certain women, and I'm like, bro, I'm not getting out of bed for her. I'm not crushing on her. Like yo, she cool. But yo, that bitch big, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm just saying, like, that's a big girl. I'm not thirsting over this person in a way where I'm a bring it up to my friend. But for niggas who ain't got shit, all they can think about is ass and having sex with her. You know what I mean? And it's like, yo, when you level up, you see a woman as a whole. You think about how she makes you look. Are you really actually attracted to her? That's the thing about money too. Money allows you to be more honest with yourself about what you want and what you actually like. If you can afford, for example, when it comes to food, right? If you can afford better tasting food than McDonald's, then McDonald's can be kind of nasty. Or you can be more comfortable saying McDonald's is nasty or McDonald's is trash because you can afford, even though McDonald's not really cheap no more, but you can afford to eat better food. You can afford to get better stuff. You know what I mean? So anyway, but that's always and again, young men gotta hear this shit. Like, yo, you have to have a clear idea of your program. Cooking and cleaning is a minimum. And of course, like, listen, that's fair. I'm not saying that you gotta do all the cooking. Most black men can cook pretty well, right? I cook very well. So like, no one will ever have to make all my meals for me, but I know that I have to let her do it so she can be good at it. That's how girls get good at cooking is when they cook all the time. But that's also a huge red flag. He also mentioned that she said she would outsource it. I'm gonna tell you, bro, that is high level sugar baby talk right there. That means that she's only used to showing up to fuck. She may indeed have never experienced being a long-term girlfriend that does anything, and which also feeds into my theory that this is someone trying to come out of the sex work life or come out of the sugar baby life, and they're looking for a long-term living trick.
as well.
I see so many red flags in this conversation already. Already.
I'm gonna speed up a little bit.
All should be cooked.
I'm like, okay, cool. We all, continue talking about that.
Gotta continue to ascend. And if this is the way you starting off, it was gonna be bad in the first place.
And I think we all, continue talking about that. And she mentions like, oh, like I hate the patriarchal system. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. Again,
okay, cool.
Just kind of like at this point, cool. I'm starting to like put two and two together. I feel like I'm like, dang,
he should have got out of this immediately. Right after all of those red flags, she laying out the markers for you, dog. She's telling you, and now if you continue to go down this path, because see, I'm not even blaming her at this point. If you go down this path of simping, then this is why we call it simping, or trying to look for the approval of women and all of that. I don't care what she look like. I don't care how bad she is. None of that matters, bro. Character, making sure y'all equally yoked. You are in for a world of hurt. She don't like patriarchy, which means that she don't like structure. She don't like instruction. She don't like being told what to do. She want to do what she want to do. So she's a feminist, right? She don't like cooking and cleaning. So she lazy. She's expecting grand gestures. And you still sitting there having a conversation with you. Where do you think this is going to go?
She's very hands-off in this whole dating process.
She said she's been very hands-off. Hold on, let me bring that shit back before I get to my point. Hold on.
And you still sitting there having a conversation with you. Where do you think this is going to go?
She's very hands-off in this whole dating process. Because by now, like, we're like almost 2 months in. I've taken her on several dates. She hasn't like even offered like, or even brought me like a beer or something, just something like small to just show like appreciation. None of that has occurred, And that's kind of the stuff I kind of look out for too. Like when I'm, dating somebody. Just
Then you nigga said we are 2 months in. Yo, when you are grown, bro, yo, you don't give someone. It's one thing if like you were 2 months in because there were weeks where I couldn't get together and whatnot, or maybe something happened when she was traveling or went away. Because one likely what's going on is that she's definitely getting dicked down by someone else. Okay, that's one. All right. Also, real talk. She doesn't necessarily have to, but you should make women invest in you. All right, and you should look out for that. You should not have to go 7 dates. I'm not saying she really got to take you nowhere, but she should either be coming to your house to cook, or you coming to where she live at for her to cook something for you. All right, even if it's just she gonna give you a massage, something. So that tells me a lot about the kind of energy that you command from the women, right? How you are. Also, the part about the patriarchy, and again, a lot of men we don't see ourselves as a group and as things being a group effort. So we don't be realizing like, yo, that when we're at war and when the other person is putting together a war strategy and your ass over there just thinking, yeah, well, she's a great girl. Because again, your testosterone and your desire to have sex will make you see the best in this person. I'm trying to tell you. Listen, the more good a woman looks, the more tolerable she is. Period. That's why he was able to go out with her 7 goddamn times. I'm not hearing about no smooches, nothing like that. And that's another thing too about like, yo, men are the most successful when they go after women who actually like them back. Now again, if they would have had a price and an arrangement, this would be a lot different. Also, for the money that he was spending, he could have started seeing a young lady from seeking arrangements, right? And he could have got what he needed, right? And if he was getting what he needed, he wouldn't have been so thirsty. Let me tell you something right now. When you are already fucking someone else and everything, you are way more confident around other women, and you're just not in scarcity, right? And you're more willing to walk away. Because the reality is this: I've been thinking more about what does it mean to have an abundance mindset, right? And I have to keep adjusting my understanding of that. Of course, it's the opposite of a scarcity mindset, but an abundance mindset is one where you understand that this girl is not one of one. There's more coming. There's girls just like her turning 18 and 24 every single day.
just something
He's
small.
too nice of a guy. This is such a nice guy, and he don't know no better. He's such a nice guy.
Just to show like, hey, here's a beer. I know you. This is your, one of your favorite beers or something like that, or some French fries or something. But nothing to that point. And I was like, all right, cool. So I asked her, like, are you a little bit more different in a relationship? Like, do you show up differently in a relationship?
No,
And she's kind of like, yeah, I don't want to do girlfriend things for someone I'm not in a relationship with.
Yo, if you are a millennial man, yo, there is a chance that you have had a conversation with a woman, right? And you've heard her dead ass repeat things that she's heard on social media and say it to you as if it's an original thought and as if it makes all the sense in the world. That's not even how dating works. Again, this strategy, but this is where we got to blame the men. This strategy only works when the men are not standing on business and you let your dick guide your actions. Anyway, we 2 hours in, man. I'm gonna get back to this tomorrow, man. But I wanted to get into this shit because listen, at the end of the day, someone did not inform that young man, and more than likely his family, but more important, probably his mother, sabotaged him in terms of not informing him on how women actually move, how women think, and how to actually get women, to be attracted to them. Most women are not going to tell their sons how to get women to be attracted to them. That's why guys are always surprised that you like a bad boy, you like a criminal. Why do all bad men have women? Because that's life. He's more manly than you. You have to be able to excite her primal urges, bro. And if you don't excite her primal urges, then you move on to a woman whom you do get that kind of energy from, because you'll be more happy with that person. You're more fulfilled with that person, and also too, like if you could really deal with someone who's showing you almost no effort and no interest in everything, it says a lot about you and your self esteem and what you think is okay and what's not okay. Right. Not only that, also how you view time. Like, I mean, this guy seems like he probably is doing pretty well for himself. But as far as your personal life, you don't see any value to your own time. You don't think that, yo, this will be a waste of my time. Why would I put my time into this? Right. And also you noticing that, yo, she's not making any gestures. A lot of times men will feel like I've come too far to turn back, or I'm too invested. And men have a hard time walking away. And and that's the business aspect. You know what I'm saying? But that's the benefit of the business aspect. It's like, yo, if you can walk away, there's also value in that too. That's why, like, yo, when I had that situation with my ex a few years ago, I mean, it really hurt, pause. But after what I went through with my other ex, I'm like, yo, I know what it is to have several opportunities, or have opportunities, or have times where y'all done broke up. And had y'all stayed broken up and you going down a different path, you be further along in life. I'm like, yo,